Hare Krishna. So, warm welcome to all the devotees of Sanatan Dham. I don't know how much you all heard from what I said previously, but thank you again for the opportunity to serve all of you. And what Prabhuji said about my speaking to a large audiences, that is not exactly correct. But yeah, when we get a service to speak in the temple, yes, that goes online to a lot of people. But it's not that I speak to large audiences, nothing like that. So thank you for this opportunity. So the topic we picked for today's discussion, as I said, was related to the secrets of a strong marriage. And as I said, these secrets are actually the same secrets that are applicable even to a strong Vaishnava relationship. Okay. So that is the context I want all of you to carry. So if there is somebody on this call who is not married, or who is no longer married, or whatever it is, right? So that person can take these principles and apply them to the relationships with the Vaishnavas, So it's the same concept. So it's not very different. So I'll just request you all to take it in that spirit. So the context for this topic actually came from a verse that I took in the temple Bhagavatam class, where Vidura, the Srimad Bhagavatam, he actually is, he's inquiring from Uddhava that is Pritha still living? She lived only for the sake of her fatherless children. Otherwise, it was impossible for her to live without King Pandu, who was the greatest commander and who alone conquered the four directions simply with the help of a second bow. So, actually, Pandu, when he was cursed, right? He was cursed that if you try to enjoy with your wife, you will immediately die. So, unfortunately, because of the influence of time and karma, whatever, he at a particular time he lost his austerity, and he tried to enjoy with Madri, and Madri tried to stop him, but he didn't listen, and immediately he left his body. So, as a result of this, Madri was devastated, and Kunti comes to the spot, and she is also devastated. And Kunti is the senior queen. So she says that, all right, my husband has left his body, so I will leave my body and you take care of the children. She tells Madri. And then Madri tells her that no, actually, our husband left because of me. I am to blame for this. So that's one reason, I cannot live, without my husband. And I am the one who caused him to die. So, I should give up my body. And the second reason she gives is more powerful. She says that I sincerely believe that you will take care of my two sons better than I would take care of your three sons. She says, you will not see that this is Madhuri's sons and this is my sons. You will see all of them as your sons. I don't have that capacity. So she begs her and she says that I would like to leave. So even though Kunti is, the senior queen, and she gets actually to do this, and her attachment for Pandu is very, very great. In the Bhagavatam class, we discussed at length what is the qualifications of Pandu. So definitely she was very attached to him. But for the sake of bringing up these five children, for the sake of fulfilling the wish, the desire of the Lord, and to rid Madri of her guilt, because Madri would have been feeling very guilty. And if she had stayed alive, she would have lived with that guilt all her life. So, to rid her of all this, she allowed her to give up her body. Now, the interesting point from this pastime is that what kind of attachment these ladies had for their husband, that they prefer to die in a burning fire than to live without the husband. Right? So it's worth thinking about, right? That what is it about the husband that the wife feels? See, it is not, see, Pandu has already left his body, so it's his body, dead body, that is burning. He's not experiencing any pain. But for the woman who is giving up her life in this in the fire along with the husband's body, she is burning alive. If you get a small, chatka, as they say, we get so affected. Imagine being engulfed with fire when you are alive. Your eyes, your hands, your skin, your hair, your everything burning alive. What kind of pain that must be? But they are willing to take that pain, but they cannot tolerate the pain of separation from their husband. So you can imagine what kind of husband this must be, right? From this, we can just, derive something. So I was just trying to think that what was this, what is this love that, that some women prefer to embrace death rather than living living without their husband. And in today's day and age, women prefer to kill their husbands rather than living with them. So we have gone the reverse, 180-degree reverse is happening in the world today. Women they cannot tolerate living with the husband. Immediately they leave, they take divorce and they go, because now women are earning money, they are independent, they're educated, they don't need the husband in that sense. The husband thoda bhi off ho gaya to gaya, they just leave him. So I was just trying to meditate on what is it that this Madri and Kunti and all these women in the past, that what is the foundation for the kind of attachment and love that they had for their husband, and whether this is even possible in today's day and age, right? Or is it just some Puranic story, Mahabharat story? वो तभी का था, अभी ये सब प्रैक्टिकल नहीं है, right? Can this kind of a relationship between a husband and wife even exist, that they cannot live without each other? Of course, Prabhupada mentions in the purport to this verse that sati as that practice has been abolished now, because now even if the woman, I mean, when sati was going on, even the woman doesn't want to leave her body. She is not so attached to the husband, but she has been forced to accept sati, forced to burn alive, which is ridiculous. So therefore, that practice was abolished by the government. Say, band karo isko, nikal do isko. But whether that level of love and attachment can exist between a husband and a wife, not just the husband as for wife, or only wife as for husband, it's to be both ways. Whether that kind of a love and attachment can even exist in today's day and age, and what is the foundation for that? What are those secrets of a strong marriage? So I thought I will share that a little bit today. So just a few points. I mean, it's not like it's comprehensive. It's not like this is some what do you say? It is not like some Ramban I'm giving, but I'm just sharing, based on what I've heard from my own father. When we got married, me and my wife got married, my father had shared some advice. He had given some thoughts about what we can do as husband and to maintain a relationship. So based on those, based on my own experience, based on what I've heard from my Gurudev, I'm just going to share a few of those points, right? So one of the things is, a genuine love for one another. They are saying that what will develop this love? Love only develops love. It is not that, something has to happen and suddenly a relationship which is, dead, it comes alive. And no, love develops love. If you invest in loving your husband or your wife, then that relationship grows. But that love is not just not just centered around bodily attachment for each other. There may be, see, husband and wife, when they live under the same roof, there may be some physical attraction for each other. That is likely, that is possible. It is understandable. Okay. But love which is based on only bodily attachment, after some time it starts fading away, because after a few years the husband doesn't look nice, the wife doesn't look nice, people become old, people lose their beauty, they lose their physical features. So if your love for your husband or your wife is based primarily on their physical appearance, over a period of time that is going to fade away. But this love that was there was centered around the Daivi Varnashram system. That keeping Krishna in the center, keeping service to Krishna in center, keeping service to Guru, to the Vaishnavas in the center. That was the center of their lives. If you see Kunti and you see their lives, right, their whole life was around service to Krishna, and following Krishna's mission. This is what it was. So if you keep Krishna in the center and love for each other based on keeping Krishna in the center, that is one principle for a very, very strong kind of, relationship. Another thing is oneness of purpose and values. So this is very interesting that people, husband and wife, for example, may be very different in their natures. It is quite likely, like me and my wife, for example, our natures are 180 degrees apart. We just celebrated our wedding anniversary, on Tuesday, our 27th wedding anniversary. Okay, we were like completed 27 years of married life. Hari, thank you. But if you think about it, I mean, if people were to take an objective view, of our horoscopes, our natures, they say this marriage will not last more than a year, because completely different. I like hot, she likes cold. I like spicy, she likes sweet. I like planning, she hates planning. I mean, nothing, not one single thing. Okay, our habits, our likes, dislikes, our manner of interacting with the world is completely 180 degrees apart. But we have managed to stay together. How? Because there is oneness in purpose. There is oneness in values. What are values, right? I mean, purpose to everyone understand, but values, what is values? Values is that which, when you remove all the external coverings, what you consider important in life, what is really important in life. बाकी सब चलो ठीक है यार, तुमको आइसक्रीम अच्छा लगता है, मेरे को गरम सूप अच्छा लगता है, एंड हाउ कैन यू ड्रिंक सूप कोल्ड? सूप को ठंडा करके कौन पीता है? आइसक्रीम को मेल्ट करके कौन खाता है? You can argue over these small things, but what is really important in life? What do you consider really valuable? Those are our values. So those things don't change with time. Like, for example, when I was a child, I hated brinjal. Okay, I hated. I love it now. I can eat brinjal every 2 days. 2-3 days brinjal खाए मैं खा सकता हूँ. कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. I enjoy. So our likes and dislikes may change, but hopefully our values don't change. That's very intrinsic to who we are. It's very intrinsic to what we consider important in life. So if those values match between a husband and wife, if the values are matching, the relationship survives. So for instance, I give you an example of what values are, right? The values is, okay, if one person believes that parents or in-laws are on the same level, we should not differentiate between the two. In-laws, parents, same level of respect, same kind of service has to be given, regardless of how they are. They may be anything, but हम उनके बच्चे हैं तो हमको उनका ख्याल रखना है. We have to take care of them. If this is a value, now if husband wife differ on this, it will lead to constant conflicts. But if they agree on this, there's no problem. Honesty is another value. That I'm faced with a situation. There's a Vaishnava who's talking to me. I have a choice. Can I be honest with this person, or can I, kind of hide the truth, right? Now, if this is another very important, this is what I consider very important. Now, if I see a mismatch over here with my wife, there's going to be constant conflicts because I hold this very deeply. Now, if the other person doesn't hold it deeply, ठीक है, being dishonest, honest, what's the big deal? यार, इस situation में कभी-कभी झूठ बोलना पड़ता है. The other person doesn't even consider that as a value. It is a scope for conflict. So if values are mismatched, there are problems. But if values there are matching, marriages last for a very long time. So therefore, when we evaluate, our life partner, looking at whether there's a value match is very important. That what do you think about children? What do you think about in-laws? What do you think about bhakti? Is bhakti important? This is a value. For us, I value bhakti, and my if my husband doesn't value bhakti, there's a problem. We're going to have issues, right? So yeah, so values. Even if values somewhat kind of don't match, but if the purpose is one, purpose meaning what? Jivera Swarupoya Krishna Nityadas. My purpose in life is to serve Krishna. Ultimately, my service to Guru, my service to Krishna, my service to the Vaishnavas takes precedence over everything else. Baki sab cheez, while all other things sometimes become very significant. Okay, like in a day-to-day life, sometimes your wife says something to you, your ego gets hurt, you get angry, then you raise your voice, then you shout, she shouts back, and a fight starts. It kind of evolves into a cold war. The next day, no one is talking to each other. They are doing services, but they're not talking. Haribol, please wake up, Gopika. Haribol, can you just pani chhod? ऐसा एक बातचीत हो रहा है, लेकिन there is no emotion in it. That's cold wars. So the point is that if there is oneness in purpose, then logically at some point you see ki, array, this kind of behavior is interfering with my service to my guru, with my service to my deities, with my service to my children. My chanting is suffering. I am not able to read. I am not able to do anything because there is this tension in my relationship. So I get to choose what is more important, these things or my stupid ego, which I am saying that I am right. If there is oneness in purpose, all other things start aligning. The purpose, if we can both find husband and wife and find a common purpose that they both identify with, that they both agree with, this becomes a bond for a lifetime. I'll give you my own personal example. When my parents, I think I mentioned this, my parents became devotees in 1992. I took 5 years. After I took 5 years to become a devotee. So yeah, my wife, my mother was very frustrated. She tried everything. Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. She tried everything to make me a devotee. Nothing was working. Finally, I told her I found my own girl also. So she was like even more agitated. Arey, I was thinking I'll marry him to a devotee. That will become a. Now he's marrying a non-devotee, not even from our community. She was very agitated. But my mother is now, at least she was, now she's not there. But my mother was a never say die kind of person. She said that, chalo, ye ladki ko devotee banate. Make her devotee. So they started, my mother and my sister both started preaching to her quietly, surreptitiously. I told that time she was not my wife, she was my whatever, girlfriend or whatever. So I told her that, see, मेरे सामने ये सब तिलक विलक लगा के आने का नहीं, मेरे साथ रहना है तो ये भक्ति वक्ति छोड़ना पड़ेगा. So she had started chanting, she had started taking care, but she gave it up because of me. Because I forced her. No, you have to give it up. But one day I got convinced. So then I took her aside. I sat with her. We went on a bus journey, 1.5 hours. And 1.5 hours, we were basically checking on purpose. That, see, I want to do this now. I feel I want to do this. Do you want to do this? I asked her, do you want to also bhakti follow karna hai? She said, Baba, I wanted to, teri wajah se maine chhod diya. So I am feeling to do this. So yeah, we agreed on that. This is the purpose. Really, human life, this is the purpose. To perfect our lives, to serve Krishna. This is the purpose. To please Guru, to chant Hare Krishna. This is the purpose. So once you've agreed on this purpose, then everything else is a subsidiary, insignificant purpose. It may be contributing to this purpose. But this is the purpose. If the purpose is in sync between husband and wife, even if values are not matching, even if habits are not matching, even if kundali is not matching, if the purpose is the same, they will find a way to coexist. They will find a way to have a strong marriage. So purpose, okay, this is another very important point. Then, deep respect for each other. This is another very interesting point. that having a deep respect for each other is a very fundamental aspect of a strong marriage. Because if a husband believes ki, hey, I am the provider, so I deserve respect. You are just spender. You just burn money, and what you are doing whole day sitting in the house, क्या काम है तुम्हारा, कुछ है नहीं, मुझे देखो मैं कितना काम कर. So if this kind of a disrespect or inequality of understanding each other's roles and respecting the person for what role they are playing, if this respect is not there, relationships start to fall apart. In the previous ages, even if it was the man who was the earner, bread earner, even if he was, protecting the family, earning for the family, he was taking care of the family, he never disrespected the woman because he knew what an important role she is playing, even though she is just a homemaker and just a homemaker. He would understand what is the role she's playing. He respects her for that, and the woman respects the husband for what role he is playing. In today's society, the roles have changed. This is a fact. It's a fact of life. We have to understand that today women are as educated, if not more educated than men. Therefore, they feel the need to work to earn their own money. And in Kali Yuga, it is probably, I am saying it is even necessary. In Kali Yuga today, women probably need to work simply because the cost of living is so high. And the men are such bogus men. There are a lot of men who are completely bogus. And they disrespect the woman, they dominate her, they abuse her physically, verbally, make her life a living hell. And if she's not educated, not ever worked in her life, if at all she separates from him, she's on her own. If a father, mother are not there, she's on her own. What she'll do? So a little bit in today's day and age, this is a reality. So you have to understand that women are going to work, they're going to be educated. So the husband needs to respect that the wife is working also, she's managing home also. So that respect doesn't just mean saying, very good, excellent, what you are doing is amazing. I cannot even imagine. You are getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're cooking breakfast, cooking lunch, you're going to office, you're coming back in the evening, you're cooking dinner. Till you sleep, you are not respect. All glories to you. This is not respect. This is called acknowledgement. Respect means understanding what they're doing, seeing that they're stretching way beyond their own capacity and saying, okay, let me also assist in some way. What way can I assist? If both of you feel that, the burden is too much, bring a servant, bring somebody who can assist, you know. So this is what respect. So respect doesn't just mean that, acknowledging, oh, very good, you're doing a fantastic job, very good. No, we have to go beyond that. We have to think about what can I do to assist this person. And what wife also has to think that my husband is going through so much. There's a mutual feeling of respect for each other. The self-respect of a man and the self-respect of a woman, both are important. It's not that only man's respect is important. Wife should not ever, don't ego pe mat jana. Men tend to say, don't hurt my ego. How dare you? But they think that it is their birthright to hurt the ego of the woman. No, a strong relationship is never based on inequalities like this. Here is where real equality is needed. Equality is not about job, not about rights of drinking and rights about this. No, this is where real equality is needed. Equality of standing in society, and you have the same rights that I do. So that respect is needed. To build that kind of a relationship. Then the other thing is a loving relationship is based on serving each other, service to each other. See, if you just keep telling your wife, I love you, or you tell wife tells the husband, I love you too, I love you, I love you too. If this is all that is going on, this is a very superficial, shaky relationship. It will not last. But if a relationship is based on service to each other, husband comes back from office, wife sees he's tired, she gives him a glass of water, and she asks him, "Are you all right?" Some sweet words. That's it. It doesn't need much more. Just a few sweet words is whole day of thakan is gone. The wife receives the husband with a sweet smile and little bit of service. Same way, husband also should be willing to serve the wife. It's not only the wife's responsibility to serve the husband, that khana la ke diya, ye la ke diya, wo la ke diya, sab karke diya, and I'll sit and eat. Wife is doing that. A husband should also come forward and sometimes serve the wife. Wife may need help. It could be financial help, it could be physical help, it could be emotional help. What husband is that who only receives service but is not willing to give service when it is his chance? What kind of a husband is that? Right? So we should understand that a loving relationship is built on mutual service to each other. There is this story, that there was this woman, there's this Mataji. She went to the market in the heat. She went and brought vegetables. She came home. She cut the vegetables. She soaked the dal. She made the dal, roti, sabji, rice, everything, salad. She cut it and she put it in the offering cup plate. She offered it to the deities. She removed the deity offering plate. She put it back into the main thing. She made the thali for her husband. Husband had come back for lunch. She made the thali for the husband. She put the thali in the plate in front of him. She sat down with another chair next to him. She was feeding him with one hand, and with the other hand, she is fanning him also. And the husband, while eating, sweat was coming down from his forehead. Okay. So the wife asked him, Prabhu, I went to the market. I bought the vegetables. I washed them. I cut them. I cooked them. I offered them. I made your plate. I brought it here. I'm feeding you. I'm fanning you. How come you are sweating? How come you are sweating? So he says, चबाने का काम तेरा बाप कर रहा है. He says, who do you think is chewing the food? I'm chewing. So this is what happens sometimes, that husbands, they don't realize. It can happen with wives also. We don't realize what the other person is doing. And that mutual respect is not there. And that service attitude is not there. It's just that I'll take service, but I will not give service. So if we become selfish like that, relationships start to rot. But if there is loving mutual service in the husband-wife relationship, then that relationship blooms. It's not that husband feels thirsty, pani leke aa. And if the wife says, "Can you bring water for me?" Hey, you go get it yourself. I'm too busy. What is this? We should remember that that person is also an individual. She's also a living entity. She also has feelings, right? So husband, wife, equality is on these things. That I will also serve her. I'll not just expect service. I must also give service. Okay. Then another important point is shared services to the Lord and shared services to the community. This is another foundation for a very strong relationship between a husband and a wife. If both are doing some service together for the deities, for the community, this is a very strong thing. Because of this, a lot of relationships, even in our temple, a lot of relationships have survived because of this. The husband and wife are doing deity worship in the temple together. Yeah. Yeah, husband and wife are doing deity worship in the temple together. Husband and wife are serving the community together. They come and set up the altar for the program. They put the garlands. They put all the chairs. Husband and wife are doing it together. So even if there are 100 differences between them, this one service is uniting them. So they are somehow staying together. This is another thing. When you're doing services to the Lord together, you imagine what is the meaning of dressing a deity. For a moment, just stop to think about it. What it means to dress a deity. That too, Pran Pratishtha wala deity, to all the more. What it means to serve a deity. You are standing like now you can see in my background, you can see Shishi Radha Gopinath. Imagine if husband is dressing, Shri Gopinath and wife is dressing Srimati Radharani. Radha Gopinath from this much distance are looking at both of you serving in, as a team to make Radha Gopinath look very beautiful and pleasing for all the Vaishnavas. Won't the Lord be pleased with this service? Personal service, such intimate, close personal service if you all are doing together. Won't the Lord be pleased with that? Won't He bless both of you with togetherness, with a deep, loving, affectionate relationship? Of course He will. So if we have common services that we can do together, that also embellishes a relationship. All right. Then another very important point, okay, which is dependence on each other. Okay, now see, as I said, all of these points are applicable even in Vaishnava relationships. We spoke about genuine love for each other centered around Daivi Varnashram system, right? So yeah, it may not be husband and wife, but centered around Krishna, if two people have relationship and genuinely exchange love for each other, that creates a relationship. Oneness of purpose and values can exist even amongst Vaishnavas. Two Vaishnavas may have similar values, they make strong relationship, they have similar purpose, deep respect for the services that each of them is doing, and serving each other, not just receiving service. So each of these, and shared service to the Lord or to the community, each of these applies to even Vaishnava relationships. So even between two Vaishnavas, maybe two Matajis, two Prabhujis, these same principles apply. Same. There's no difference. Exactly the same. Okay. It's just that, in between two men, two women, maybe physically there may not be any love and affection. That's fine. But that also, when two Vaishnavas see each other, they embrace each other, they pay obeisances. So even the physical aspect is coming of expressing my affection for you by the way I embrace you, by the way I just, talk to you, hold your hand and talk to you. It creates that bond. So like that. Then a dependence on each other. Now, this is a very significant point. Very often, between a husband and a wife, this kind of an attitude tends to creep in. You need me. I don't really need you. The wife may start thinking like that at some point that, oh, you are physically attached to me. You need my physical love. I don't need it. You need me to cook for you. I don't need it. Husband may start thinking, I am earning money. You need me. I don't need you. I can to manage. I'm not attached to my wife. Because physical attraction hai nahi tumhare liye. I don't need you. You imagine how unhealthy a relationship becomes when two people start thinking or even saying, unfortunately, to each other, I don't care about you. I don't need you. I don't care. You imagine how unhealthy that relationship is becoming. You imagine how toxic that relationship is, where one person expresses either in words or in actions that I don't need you only in my life. You are telling that person, तुम्हारा life का कोई value नहीं है मेरे लिए. I don't care, you're alive, dead. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. What kind of a toxic relationship that is, right? Unfortunately, lot of husbands and wives say or do this to each other, indicating कि if you are not there, I don't care. मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. I'll do my chanting every day. I'll do my DT service every day. I have other Vaishnava relationship I'll manage. What nonsense. You imagine, is this going to please your guru? If your guru comes to know this is how you're treating your wife, this is how you're treating your husband, you think your guru will be pleased? You think Vaishnavas will be pleased? You think the Lord will be pleased? Not a chance. If we come into this consciousness that you need me, I don't need you. Imagine amongst two Vaishnavas, okay, forget husband, wife, two Vaishnavas. If the preacher of a congregation, one who is coming and preaching, he tells the congregation, hey, I don't need you, you need me. If you're not there, मैं 10 दिन में और एक congregation खड़ा करेगा. आप लोग का मेरे को कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Heck, I don't care about you. If the preacher tells this to the congregation starts telling the preacher, अरे वी डोंट नीड यू, तुम कौन है, तुम्हारे जैसा और 10 प्रीचर मिल जाएगा. वी डोंट नीड यू. Imagine what a toxic relationship is getting created over there, where each person feels that I don't need you, you need me, right? So a relationship, a good, healthy relationship has inbuilt dependence on each other. It is interwoven that I depend on you and I don't feel any shame in admitting it. I don't feel any shame in admitting I depend on my wife for many things. My wife depends on me for many things. We don't feel ashamed on it. So a safe consciousness to have between a husband and wife always is I need you, not that you need me. I need you. If husband always feels ki nahi yaar, I need my wife. I mean, if she is not there, मैं तो भटक जाऊंगा. I'll get attracted to other women. I'll start breaking regulative principles. I'll start doing all nonsense activities. If my wife is not there, she's my protection. And the wife is thinking, Arey, I need my husband. If he is not there, I wouldn't be so serious about spiritual life. I would have gone in some other direction only. My husband is there, therefore I am also serious about bhakti. I mean, this is a very symbiotic and healthy relationship between a husband and wife where both feel ki, I need you. No, 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 I need you. No, no, you may need me, but I need you. What a lovely relationship where a husband and wife openly admit to each other, Baba, tere bagair tumhe kuch nahi hai. I'm useless without you. So nice. Imagine the same thing between Vaishnavas. What if the same preacher, he has this consciousness that, Are, if Sanatan Dham devotees don't call me, I am useless. मेरा तो कोई सेवा ही नहीं है. Right? I depend on you. I need you. Because if you are not there, whom I will preach to? To the walls. You are there, you are attending, therefore I have a service. If you were not attending, what service would I have? I would just be sitting, doing some time pass. But because you are giving me the service, therefore I have it. The same way, if you also have the same consciousness, not me, but any preacher who's coming, right? If you have this consciousness, Arey, we are stuck here in Saudi Arabia, we have no association. Arey, this devotee is coming and giving us some association. We need him, Baba, you please come. Right? What a beautiful, symbiotic, loving relationship will be formed when devotees think amongst each other, I need you. Not that you need me, I need you. Husband and wife thinking, I need you. Not that you need me. This is another very beautiful point about dependence. Then friendship, deep friendship, always being there for each other. Now, this is another very powerful point that husband and wife, you know, I always say, people come to us for advice that, should I marry this girl? Should I marry this boy? People come and ask for advice. And sometimes, somebody's having a love interest. And they're asking, should I marry this girl? Or should I go with what my parents are saying? They're asking these kind of questions. They're already in love with somebody, but they're still saying that, no, no, but she's not a devotee. She's this, she's that, and so many things, so many questions come right to us. So, it's very interesting. I personally believe that if a girl and a boy are good friends of each other, they're good friends. I mean, while they may love each other, but they're really good friends. Friends means what? As I say, friend in need is friend indeed. A friend who's always there for you, who's always supporting you, who's tolerating your mistakes, who's tolerating your idiosyncrasies, who's tolerating your weaknesses, and is still choosing to be with you. Sometimes there's no logic for it, there's no explanation. Why this person? You ask your friend, why am I your friend, Baba? What he'll tell you will be surprised. He'll say, I don't know. I also don't know why you're my friend. I just like you, I just want to be with you. That's it. But that person will give up his life for you also. There is no logic only to it. But that is what friendship is. And I'm always there for you. So a husband and wife should always be there for each other. That support that a wife gives to a husband as a friend when he's in trouble, when he's agitated, when he's in a depressed mood. If the wife is also a hatti yaar, iska roj ka hai, and she is, stuck in her phone, that gives that gives no support to the husband. But the wife, she's just there for him. Kya hua? Can I help? Nahi, office ka majra hai, you can't help. Is there anything I can do? That's okay. Just, there's just the fact that she's there, she's asking, gives a lot of support to the husband. Same way, if the wife is suffering, because of whatever in-laws relationships or certain own, she's feeling some inadequacy and she's feeling depressed because of that. The husband can say, "Hey, deal with it, yaar. Chant Hare Krishna. What is this? Take shelter of Krishna." The husband starts preaching to her. It doesn't work. She needs companionship at that time. She needs a friend whom she can confide in. She can pour her heart out to him without being judged. That's what a friend is, right? A friend doesn't judge you. A friend just kind of accepts you for who you are, right? So it's very beautiful. A friendship, if it is there between husband and wife, it creates a very healthy relationship. I'll give you one personal example. Okay, I'm just sharing. When I think I've said this. I don't know if I've said this before. When I was in the SAP, way back in 2000, I think 11 or 12, there was a period when I was really struggling. Because I was really working hard. I was doing everything, but results were not coming. It was not coming. And one day, one of my colleagues, late evening, she called me and told me, "Kal, there's a review with the MD, managing director, and things are not looking good, boss. Acha nahi chal raha hai. So be prepared for anything." She told me this. And I was on my way home and I was like, my God, looks like kal naukri jane wala hai. Looks like I'll lose my job tomorrow. So I was in tremendous anxiety. And I don't know how to hide my emotions, whatever. If I'm happy, it shows on my face. If I'm unhappy, it shows on my face. If I'm anxiety, it shows on my face. I went home and I tried my best to not show. My wife, 1 second, she understood. She said, "Kya hua? What happened?" I said, "No, nothing happened." She said, "Tell me, I can make out something is bothering you, something is eating you." So I told her, "नहीं देखो ऐसा हो गया that my colleague called me up and told tomorrow the review with the MD and I've not been doing well this year, so पता नहीं, looks like कल job भी जा सकता है." So she said, "हाँ तो?" I said, "तो अरे तो मतलब क्या जॉब जाएगा बाबा? I lose my job. I've been with this company for 7-8 years. I lose my job. Don't you understand?" She said, "हाँ, if you lose your job, so what?" I said, "अरे salary नहीं आएगा. Will be no salary." She said, "But all these years you've been earning salary, na? You've made some savings. Where are you going to use those savings?" I said, "हाँ, मतलब savings तो है, but what if I don't get a job for many months, 3-4 months I don't get a job?" She said, "Savings are there. Now this is the day for which you are saving money, or when you don't have a job. So now we use those savings." I said, "What if I don't get a job for 6 months?" She said, "See, you are not so bad in your job that you'll not get a job for 6 months. देखो कहीं ना कहीं तो जॉब मिल ही जाए, राइट?" Said, "हाँ, 6 महीने में तो मिल ही जाना चाहिए." She said, "अगर नहीं मिला, suppose you don't get, you can teach somewhere. Go start teaching in some college or something. वहां तो जॉब मिल ही जाएगा तेरे को. टीचिंग का जॉब कर ले." ऐसे टीचिंग में क्या मिलता है? हार्डली यू गेट 15-20,000 रुपीज सैलरी, कुछ नहीं मिलता है टीचिंग में. शी टोल्ड मी, "डोंट वरी, 20,000 तो 20,000, 20,000 में तेरे को घर चला के दूंगी. यू डोंट वरी, आई विल मैनेज द हाउस इन 20,000 रुपीज. जो तू लेके आएगा उसमें मैं घर मैनेज करूँ, तू चिंता मत." माय गॉड, उसके बाद मैं ऐसा शेर बन गया. आई बिकेम लाइक अ लायन. अरे यार, बैकिंग ऑफ माय वाइफ इज देयर. अरे हटाओ, जॉब से निकाल रहे हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. I went like a lion for the meeting the next day with such confidence. My wife is there. कुछ नहीं, कुछ भी क्या करना है, तुम क्या करना है कर लो. And I didn't lose my job the next day, right? And I'm just thinking that if at that time she had panicked, if she had panicked, "अरे जॉब जाएगा, क्या बात कर रहे हैं, क्या करेंगे हम लोग?" She didn't panic. She was cool as a cucumber. She was there for me as a friend, to hear me out and give me an alternative thought. She didn't behave like a wife at that time. She behaved like a friend. So that friendship is such a powerful bond. कि बाकी कुछ भी हो, everything else is falling apart in your life. If your wife or your husband is there for you as a friend, life becomes beautiful. Then you have strong marriage like that. And of course, last point. Of course, there are many more. I mean, I don't want to minimize, but regular communication with each other. This is another very important point, that husband and wife need to keep talking to each other. Please do not assume that even if I don't speak, सामने वाले को समझ रहे. His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj, once he had given this example. He said that my mother had cooked something very special and it was really nice, and my father was really enjoying it, appreciating it. But he didn't say anything to her that, the food is really good. So I don't remember the exact detail, something like this. And Maharaj asked that, that time he was a young boy. He asked his father that, why didn't you say anything? He said, she knows I love her cooking. Why I have to say it? She knows. But Maharaj is making that point that even if she knows, she will appreciate it if you say it. Say it. क्या खाना बनाया यार? It's too good. What cooking you made? Too good, too good. But even if you appreciate this every meal, she will still feel appreciated. If the husband is, struggling for the family, under great stress at work, but never brings that stress home, the wife should appreciate, she should communicate that I really appreciate the fact, despite the fact that you're under so much stress at your work, you never bring your work stress home. You're very normal with all of us. Communicate, appreciate. If there's something that the husband did that the wife didn't like, don't start sulking and start a cold war. Communicate. Tell her that I'll tell him that I didn't like the way you spoke to me. This is not nice. This is not respectful. I felt disrespected. Tell him, communicate, rather than going into a cold war. And he asks you what happened. Nothing happened. Hey, you're looking angry. No, I'm all right. ये क्या है? This is foolishness. Same way, husband, if you're upset with your wife about something, don't start yelling, screaming, and alienating her or anything. Instead, communicate, talk to each other. My father used to give me this advice. He used to tell that if a husband and wife with two very different natures, they live under the same roof, conflict is a given. It's a given. But two people with completely different natures, different upbringing, in different homes, in different atmosphere, different education, different friends, they are coming together under the same roof. So naturally, there will be friction. No? Because two totally different natures are coming together. Friction is a given, conflict is a given. But my father would say that no matter what conflict you have had, what fight you have had, he said if two husband and wife are living under the same roof, fights will happen. Don't expect that it will be, even if you have a love marriage, don't think that you will not have fights. You will have fights. And he was right. So fights will happen. But he said, even if you have a fight, don't stop talking to each other. He said, before you sleep, रात को सोने के पहले, he said, please make up with each other. Say sorry and end the fight. खत्म करो उसको. I said, say sorry. What if I am not wrong? What if it is her fault? Why should I say sorry? Right? And most of the time it is her fault only. Right? Men feel like that, and women also feel that it's always his fault. Right? I asked him, what if it's not my fault? He said, even if it is not your fault, you say sorry and you end it. I said, ye kya hai? What is the logic behind this? He said, very simple. You have to decide what is more important for you. Is it that stupid, temporary, irritating thing that you all started fighting about? Is that being right on that issue more important than the relationship that you have with your wife or your husband? What is more important? You decide what is more important and you choose that no, this relationship is more important. जाने दो, मेरा ego छोड़ता, I'm leaving my ego and let me say sorry. He said, end it. don't allow it to go to the next day. I asked, what happens if it goes to the next day? So he's telling me if it goes to the next day, it basically starts a cold war, because next day, each person has not said sorry. Neither of them has said sorry. Both of them are angry. Both of them don't want to say sorry, but they know कि ठीक है अभी साथ में रह रहे तो कुछ we have to. So then the cold war starts. He said, and cold war. See, he said when it's a hot war, it ends quickly because you can't keep shouting at each other for very long. But if it's a cold war, it can last forever. Cold war can go on for weeks, for months, without much difficulty. It becomes very tense. The atmosphere in the house becomes very tense, but it can go on forever. So he said, don't allow it to go to the next day. Immediately make up, say sorry and make up. Communicate with each other. A good relationship, a strong relationship is always based on constant communication and trust between each other. If we can do this, then we can ensure that we have a strong relationship. So when this kind of a bond is there between husband and wife, between Vaishnava and another Vaishnava, another Vaishnavi and another Vaishnavi, when this kind of a relationship is there, which is based on, genuine love for each other, centered around service to Krishna, oneness of purpose and values, deep respect for each other, respecting each other's role, serving each other, not just receiving services, shared service to the Lord or to the community, dependence on each other, that I need you, not that you need me, I need you, right? So that mentality, deep friendship, always being there for each other and regular communication with each other. If this kind of a relationship is there, then they truly cannot live without each other. They cannot. That is the relationship that was there in those days. This kind of a deep relationship was there between husband and wife in those days. And that is why the wife said, I don't want to live in this world if my husband is not there. I don't want. There's no point. And she would give up her body in intense pain. Not recommended in today's day and age, obviously. But yeah, just the principles that we can pick up from this are so very powerful. So that's what I wanted to share with all of you today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you. So if anybody any questions, anybody has any questions or comments or would like to share something, please unmute yourself and speak up. Maybe you can raise a hand and then. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Roji, so very, very wonderful discourse as usual. So I will be repeating myself saying so. And very, very relevant, I think, for all of us, or at least I can say for myself, not all of us. So very, very relevant discourse. Very, very grateful for taking up such a topic, which generally we don't discuss in, on these platforms. Here we discuss so how important these day-to-day life lessons also are very, very important. So thank you so much for taking such a relevant topic and important not only for Vaishnavas or Bhaktas, I think for everyone. I think this kind of things, and how important bhakti is in your relationship also, because how it binds you together and keeps you going, right? Keeping doing services together. So just want to share one small interaction with His Holiness S.B. Swami Maharaj. Recently, he was here in our temple, Panchit. He was there for 3 days after doing this Braj Parikrama. So we had the opportunity to interact with him for a brief period. So I asked him that how much time a Grasta should devote in Krishna consciousness. So his answer was that you don't compartmentalize, like this is my Krishna consciousness duty or this is my Grasta duty. It should be interwoven. And then in the lighter vein, he said that people say that, oh Maharaj, you are very brave. You have taken sannyas ashram. But I tell them, you are brave, you got married. So marriage is also brave, he says.
Yeah. It is no less challenging to be a Grihastha in today's day and age who is connected to Bhakti. It's very tough. And all glories to all of you who are doing this despite living in a not so friendly land. So all glories to all of you. Hare
All
Krishna.
glories to
Any
Sadhanam
other comments,
devotees.
questions?
Thank you.
Anybody? Anybody would like to ask any questions? There's a little bit of a controversial topic, but feel free to ask any questions if anybody has. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can you hear us, Prabhuji?
I can hear you, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. An amazing subject. I was hoping my wife was sitting here also to listen to it. Anyways, I'm just going to joke with her about it.
Can come a little closer to the
I guess
laptop,
in this
Prabhu, then I can hear you. Come a little closer. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, like in a generation of now, we see men and women equal in our kind of line of
Yeah.
couples.
Yes.
Talk about friendship, communication, and openness among
Yes.
couples. It's a
Yes.
really, but I think I'm not trying to be this thing, but I've seen like in a being a Hare Krishna devotee, a devotee speaks more of Krishna, praises more of Radhe than their own spouses. So how can one balance this? Because
Yeah. So if I got your question right, you're saying that you spoke about communication and everything, but in a devotional husband wife, both are devotees, right? So and then the focus is conversations are more around Krishna and so on and so forth. So how do you balance the material conversations with the spiritual conversation? Is that a question? Yeah, it's a nice question. Thank you for asking that. It is actually, we will figure out this balance actually over a period of time, because what happens is, as husband and wife, when we are newly married, we need a lot of guidance, right? We need a lot of guidance that will that will tell us that in this situation you do this, in this situation you do this. You'll need guidance. If you don't have guidance, you will tend to oscillate. After we get married, if you just got married amongst the Vaishnavas, there'll be like, like a very fanatical way of dealing with each other. I don't know, we must read, we must do this, talk, everything else is Maya, this is Krishna Katha. So everything will be focused on Krishna, okay? Or the other extreme, that everything is focused on only physical attraction to each other and Krishna recedes into the background. So then devotee couples will tend to oscillate, from fully Krishna conscious to fully materialistic, to fully Krishna conscious, to fully materialistic, to a little bit Krishna conscious, little bit materialistic, to fairly Krishna conscious, fairly materialistic, to a balanced life. There will be some oscillations. But if we are taking shelter of the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, we're taking instructions of senior God brothers, God sisters, we're taking guidance from them, those oscillations over a period of time will stabilize. They will not go away. At any point in your life, they will not go away until you become really pure from within. Okay, you're really able to let go of your false ego. Till that time, there will be oscillations. You will think that Ishwaro ham bhogi, Siddho ham balavan sukhi. You will behave like an asura. It will happen. And sometimes you'll behave like, oh, Krishna is my father, Krishna is my mother, Krishna is my life and soul. We'll tend to oscillate between these two positions. But if we are taking association of devotees, we're taking guidance of devotees, we're reading Srila Prabhupada's books, we're hearing his lectures, we're hearing the lectures of our Guru, we will know how to find that balance. On our own, we are likely to oscillate a lot. But if we're taking guidance of Vaishnavas, yes, we'll be able to find the middle path. Till we find, if you're not getting guidance of Vaishnavas, go looking for it. Don't just assume that we will figure it out. If you're struggling, see, husband and wife, best is don't involve anybody. Best. Don't involve anybody. Whenever you have a conflict, don't bring in your mother, your father. Sort it out with your wife like adults. If there is an imbalance happening, discuss it, communicate. I feel, too much we are doing Krishna consciousness and we have no time for each other. Discuss it. Have an adult conversation with your wife, like an adult. Don't talk like children with each other. Don't fight like children. Talk like adults. Or sometimes if you feel that you are going too much towards enjoyment, oh, I think we have now stopped getting up early. We don't go to the temple so often. We used to read daily earlier. Now, so hardly once a month we don't read anything. Have that conversation and support each other and come back on the Krishna conscious track again. So that's what it is. Life is about finding those balances. Those balances come through trusted communication with each other. If you're talking to each other regularly, you all will find the balance. But if you all are not talking to each other, one person will be fanatic, another person is too much of a practical person, you will keep fighting over that also. Does that answer your question, Bruce? Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. It's a tough one. It's not easy. Finding that balance that's what life is all about. Finding that balance. It's never easy. Yeah. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Pranam. Prabhuji,
Krishna.
I just want to know. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother.
Okay. So, Prabhuji, does fighting between couples comes under Vaishnava Prad?
Good question. Good question. Is your husband a Vaishnava?
Yes, Vishnu Surottam Prabhu is my
Vishnu Prabhuji.
husband. Actually.
Yeah. So if your husband is a Vaishnava, then fighting with Vaishnava constitutes fighting. See, fighting may happen.
That's a good.
Okay.
That's a good reply, Prabhuji.
Yeah, fighting may constitute Vaishnava aparad if we are doing aparad. See, there may be a disagreement on a point. Okay, there may be a disagreement on how a service in the home has to be done, how we marry our daughter, and how much money we spend on it, or how we should treat our brother, son-in-law, how we should treat our other child. There could be fight on so many reasons. Okay, if we start counting Vaishnava aparad and all of that, we will be miserable. Okay, we'll never be able to express our opinion about what somebody is doing wrong. So it is wrong for the husband to misbehave, thinking that if you correct me, it is Vaishnava aparad. Same thing goes for the wife. It is wrong for the wife to, misbehave, thinking that if you correct me, it is. Basically, both need to understand that both are Vaishnavas. Let me not disrespect. Let me not, you just for a moment, okay, just for a moment. If your Guru Maharaj is a very simple way to understand that am I crossing the line or not crossing. You think that right now when you're having this conversation with your husband or with your wife, just imagine for a moment your Guru Maharaj is sitting right next to you. He is sitting right next to you while this conversation is happening. How would you speak in that circumstance? If I am speaking in a very different way, when Vaishnava is around, I'm like, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, can we go home? It's getting late now. Very sweetly we talk. And when we're at home, hey, Haribol, what is this? You're always delaying me. So, we should not become hypocrites after becoming bhakti, coming in bhakti. We should be very clear that I am, inside and outside, I am the same person. That doesn't mean we be nasty in all situations. You should have to become sweet in all situations. That, if my Guru Maharaj was here, would I speak like this to this Mataji, to my wife? If my Guru Maharaj was here right now, would I speak like this to my husband? So if that is the benchmark we use, that this tone, these words will not please Guru, will not please my deities, will not please the Vaishnavas. This tone is not nice. These words are not nice. This aggression in body language is not nice. If we are able to just be conscious of these things, we will not do aparad. We may shout at somebody, but that shouting is just an outpouring of emotion because that person has done or said something that has hurt you. It is still communication. But if we start becoming nasty as a part of that, then we are moving towards Vaishnava aparad. Does that answer, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions before we conclude?
Prabhuji has got a question.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam Prabhu.
Thank
Hari Hari.
you very much for your wonderful class. You are a very good counselor to the married couple. So,
No. I have a long way to go.
so you don't,
Your voice is breaking, Prabhu.
so you don't have to worry about your. You can have a.
No, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
So you don't have to worry about your job, Prabhu, in life. Prabhu, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. What are the different references in Srimad Bhagavatam for teachings to husband, teaching to wife, and teaching to husband and wife together?
I don't have a good answer for this question, but there is a Grihastha manual that was prepared by Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir, which was based on teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, lectures of Srila Prabhupada, and there I think there are a lot of references also given. If you search for Grihastha manual, you may find it also. It's a PDF document. You may find it, and that will have some references. So what I spoke, honestly, it is not based on any scriptural references. It is just my practical experience, what I have heard from my elders and my seniors in Krishna consciousness. But yeah, if you really start digging deep, you will find a scriptural reference for each and every one of these. So I'm fairly confident about that. But I don't know
For
those
example,
references.
Devahuti, I just,
Sorry?
Prabhuji, I just came in my mind, Devahuti and Kardam Muni is one of the,
Yes,
we
yes,
can
yes.
get some teachings from
We can get some
Devahuti.
teachings from there. The purports that
There
Prabhupada
are
has
some more
written over
references.
there. The purports that Prabhupada has written there. Then you will find a lot of things, in this Puranjan. Puranjan also, there also you will find a lot of references upon husband-wife relationship. You will find in Krishna's pastimes in Dwarka, there also you will find things. Krishna's relationship with Satyabhama, there also you will find. So Prabhupada's purports are full of full of insights, and Bhagavatam is full of insights of what a husband-wife relationship should be. So, yeah, I don't know those references, but I'm sure there are many. Hare
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Nice
Hari.
class. We enjoyed
Hari.
this class. If you would have told this
Not class. Over to your
if
class.
would have been informed about this topic, then we would have made mandatory for the couple to attend this class.
Yeah, I also decided at the last minute only, but sorry about that. You can share the recording, I suppose, with everybody, whoever has missed the class. You can share the recording. Any other questions? Matajis have been quite
Yes,
silent.
Prabhuji.
Any other questions before we conclude?
Any
Matajis
questions
will
from
not
Mataji?
speak up. Matajis will not speak up because अगर कुछ पूछा तो problem नहीं होना चाहिए घर जाके. Sorry. Yes, Mataji, you have a question.
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, there is no question. Everything which you said was actually the truth. There was no controversy in that because each and every point is actually relevant in relationships, in progress of bhakti. So there is no controversy. Like you said, you have spoken certain controversial things. No. Absolutely agree with everything in toto. So no question. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. No, controversy in the sense, I'll tell you frankly, I've seen this, sometimes in a counseling meeting, we speak on a particular topic, and in that topic, the wife asks a question. What if this is happening? Okay. And the husband is squirming over there, ki, yaar, ye mere bare mein mera khulasa kar rahi hai, she's exposing me. And then after they go home, they start fighting that, Arey, why did you ask this question in front of everybody? Everyone will be thinking that I must be talking like this. She said, yeah, but you talk like this only. So yeah, we have to be sensitive also, that how we handle these kind of questions. That's the controversy I meant, not the topic. Topic is so clear. But yeah, sometimes, husband, wife, conversations, yeah, we have these problems. But like I said, if both can, I'll conclude with this. Okay, since there's no other questions, I'll conclude with this. Once,
Just one more.
Hare Krishna.
One.
Achha, one more question is there. Who's
From
question?
all the Madajis, common question.
Yeah, what is that?
It's Prabhuji. I'm asking because they are
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
far. The thing is, like you mentioned about communication. Nowadays,
Mentioned
with
about?
the
Mentioned
mobile,
about?
the opportunities for
Communication.
Communication. Okay, huh.
Nowadays, with the mobile around, the opportunities for communication has reduced a lot.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Prabhuji?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
So how do we, like, what is it, Madan?
No, like we want some problem, we cannot discuss. They are in the mobile.
What she says, you got it, Prabhuji.
No, it's a very relevant
like
and relevant and practical question. That if both of us our heads are inside that mobile, where is the question of communication? Communication is, I like this Instagram reel and I forwarded it to my husband, or I like this Facebook reel and I forwarded it to my wife. This is what communication is becoming now, unfortunately. So, yeah, my humble submission would be that as Vaishnavas, we should realize that this is actually setting us up for a risk. Even if you are spending time on phone with each other, fix a time, where we'll just talk. Tabhi there's no phone. There should be no phone. When you're talking to, especially even if I'm on the phone. Suppose I am on the phone and my wife starts talking to me. I can't say, okay, hold on 1 minute, I'm doing something. I'm just watching something. 1 minute. No. What is more important? That video you're watching right now or your wife? Simple. We'll keep life very simple, Baba. Don't complicate matters. What is more important at this point of time? Is it that phone or your wife? No, I'm hearing a lecture of Guru Maharaj only. Very important. Guru Maharaj lecture. Guru Maharaj lecture. It is a recorded lecture. You can pause it and you can hear it later also. No, wife is telling you something, listen to her. Same way, if husband is telling something to wife. No, but I am listening to this recipe. I'm cooking for you only. I'm cooking for Gormita only. For that only I'm hearing recipe. Correct. But right now your husband is telling you something. Listen to him. So we should try to keep life simple, We try to complicate our life too much, very difficult. Yeah, in today's day and age, there's no getting away from the phone. It's a fact of life. Unfortunate, but true. We're all addicted to our phones. So if you are addicted to your phone, okay, you are addicted to your phone. You're not spending quality time with each other. Very risky, but all right. If both are very happy with their respective phones, all right. But when there is an opportunity to communicate, that time don't use your phone as an excuse. That time keep the phone aside and aankhon mein aankh dal ke, as they say, eye to eye contact and talk to each other. That is good enough, because even if a relationship is, is I would say, like, as they say in Hindi, kebab mein haddi. That phone has become kebab mein haddi. It has become like the one which is in between the husband and the wife, between the parents and the children. But if there is an opportunity to communicate with each other, we should communicate. Keep the phone aside and talk to each other. Then don't get irritated. I'm doing something. That's okay. But you have to evaluate that what I am seeing on this video, is it more important than what my husband is telling me? He is telling something ridiculous, something silly only is going to say. That's okay. For him, that is important. Similarly, wife may be saying something to you which may feel very trivial and insignificant. Guru Maharaj is talking about pure bhakti. All right. But you can hear that later also. If your wife is telling you something which she really feels is important for you to hear, keep that phone aside and listen to her. This is what I would say. Hare Krishna. I don't know if this is practical, but yeah, and ideally, as I said, keep time for each other. Make time. Go out together. Go for walks together. Sit in the garden sometimes without the phone. Just it will be very difficult. Your hands will be twitching. What will we do? But yeah, sometimes we make time for each other. The topics will start. The conversations will start. They may end up in fights. That's okay. Better you fight with each other than being stuck in your phone the whole day. That's what I would suggest, as for my understanding. Hare Krishna. All right, I think we have overshot today by almost 10 minutes. So thank you
That's
very
all right.
much for your kind attention, and thank you very much for this opportunity to serve all of you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur
Jai.
Premanandi,
His
Hari
Grace Sri
Hari
Damasar.
Bol.
Siddhama Sagaraguru ki jai.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Thank you.